Hi, Tyler at Fidelio here with you today. I'm going to show off quite an unusual streaming speaker system. This is the Philips Fidelio SoundSphere, model number DS9800W. These go for $799 a pair. This is quite an unusual speaker system. Usually most of these streaming speakers are single units, like the BMW Zeppelin Air, for example, which is a really nice streaming speaker, but like a lot of those one-box units, the problem with them is that they really don't fill a room with the type of spacious sound that a stereo speaker system can deliver, and this one certainly does deliver in that regard. Before I get to that, I'll give you a little tour of these guys. These are a wood enclosure, has a 5¼ inch woofer and about a 1-inch tweeter up here. Crossover point is at 2.2K. It's a 7-liter wooden carved enclosure. There are all the electronics are in the left channel. There are two 50-watt Class D amplifiers in here that do the driving duties. And there also comes with a 20-foot cable that you put from these binding posts to the binding posts on the rear of the right speaker to get the audio over to the right speaker. Both are ported speakers, so the low frequencies on these go down pretty much flat till about 70 hertz. Then they start rolling off. It's a small volume cabinet, so you can't expect too much out of them. The ports are on the rear, and so they will get a little bass buildup in the low frequencies if you push them right up against the wall. Although some people like a little extra bass, so you can control the bass by how close you get to the walls. You can also control the bass through an app. Philips has a Sound Studio app that you can run on your phone, and you attach directly to your phone directly to this USB connector here, and at that point you can adjust the EQ using the app on the phone. And I would highly suggest that you do that immediately, because when they do come from the factory with some extra bass boost set up on the equalizer in here, and I found it quite a bit better to set it to flat. So the real unusual part of these speakers is the geometry of the two drivers, as you can see, and the intention here is to create a point source omnidirectional speaker. And the advantage of a point source omnidirectional speaker is that it radiates sound in all directions, and therefore you get some reverberant information off the walls in the front of the room as you're listening, as well as the back, which gives it a big, spacious sound. Most box speakers with their speakers facing towards you, at low frequencies they radiate fairly omnidirectionally, but as the frequencies goes up, they narrow down and point directly at you, and therefore you don't have a lot of this ambient information in the sound behind the speakers. With these, the sound goes in all directions. In fact, as the 5-inch driver here goes up in frequency, and as frequency does go up, it will begin to narrow the radiation pattern. Before it narrows much, at 2.2 kilohertz, the crossover transitions the sound up to the tweeter, and as you can see, the tweeter is on the axis of the low frequency driver here, which causes this transition to apparently remain as a point source. So the idea here, and there's a lot of engineering, and if you look at the article on Fidelio, there's a link to the patent application. It's very interesting geometry that's going on here to keep that point source omnidirectional radiator going. The result is that a very, very, very spacious sound indeed. No, it's not nearly as specific an image as a really good high-end system, But it certainly is an image as big as a good high-end system, and really fills a room up with sound. So these are an ideal speaker to put in a large room. Also, that because of the design, and they're so attractive looking and unusual looking, that they're great in a room where you don't want to disturb the decor with a bunch of speakers and stuff like that. So if you've got a large living room area, they can be put on the side without too much fuss or muss, and have that big wife acceptance factor that we all yearn to have in our audio gear. I can tell you the other advantage is that the image is so large and the sound is so big that it's really an audiophile friendly sound as well. The quality of the sound is quite good. They're a little bit boxy sounding, and as can be expected from a small enclosure like this. But I would say the response overall is quite good and quite neutral. I had no problem with squeaky highs, no problem with uneven response through the mid-range, and everything seems to be quite well done with these speakers. So highly recommended from that point of view. It does come with a little remote control, and this is where you can select between the AirPlay and line input on the rear. You can turn the power on and off, raise and lower volume, play, pause, track back and track forward, and a mute switch. So that's a handy dandy. I listen to it listening to TV quite often, music, and it was always a pleasure to have these around. So they're definitely going to get a Stuff We Like award. I think it's a great solution for folks who want sort of a semi-permanent installation of stereo sound in a room that they don't want cluttered up with a bunch of cables and stuff like that. Truly ideal for that kind of application. The Philips Fidelio SoundSpheres. Hope you get a chance to listen to a pair soon. They're certainly a lot of fun. Alright, see you next time.